Yo, what's going on, man? Today is May the 17th, 2023. It's your boy Chris, and this is the ChrisBeCappinn NBA show where I'm live on Twitter, also live on YouTube as well. Excuse me. Appreciate everybody for tapping in with me. Once again, let's go ahead and get things started. We only have one game on the card for today as the Eastern Conference Finals. My fault. Eastern Conference Finals are now underway tonight with the Boston Celtics looking to protect home court against the Miami Heat. Before we jump in, I didn't have an official play yesterday. A couple things I talked about was Dennis Schroeder threes. They cashed. I know a couple people DM me and mentioned me. Glad you guys cashed on those for everybody who took them. Also talked about Aaron Gordon threes paired with Dennis Schroeder threes. Aaron Gordon went 0 for 3 from the three-point line at home. And as I expected, man, Dennis Schroeder got a lot of minutes. I think he's going to continue to get a lot of minutes in this series for, what he can do on the defensive end, specifically against somebody like Jamal Murray when he's playing with a lot of effort and energy. Because yesterday, was a tale of two halves for the Lakers. So I didn't have an official play on the side, on the total, but Jokic rebounds was the first prop I talked about. That also cashed. Dude had 15 rebounds. It feels like, in the first couple seconds of the game. So if you took any of those looks, you cash. I know Dream had a couple really solid looks yesterday as far as the top four players, well, top two players on each team to combine for 25 points. Parlayed together was like I seen a couple plus 1,000 tickets hit. So shout out to Dream for sharing that look and for everybody that kind of tell Dream on that play. It was a productive show overall yesterday, even though I didn't have a lot. So today, I do like this Heat and Celtics game. I like this game a lot better than I like that Lakers and Nuggets game yesterday. So 3 official plays. I'm going to jump into it. But as always, as you guys join, hit the like button for me if you can. Show support for the channel. And it's greatly, greatly, greatly appreciated. Shout out to everybody in the comment section as well. Scotty, Amos, Angel. Angel says she's looking for a prop bet. Got to be a lock. No such thing as lock. I feel like I say this every single day, but yeah, no such things as locks, Angel. And I'll go over a few player props that I like today. Not anything that I played officially though. I have not placed a prop bet in this game. What's up, Capper Taylor? Ruiz, Martinez, appreciate you being here as well. Same thing for Captain Zach as always. Damian, appreciate you as well, and David. So let's jump into it, man. Let's jump into it. Like I said, only one game on the card today. Not gonna be on the show for a super long time, but Heat and Celtics, we got an undervalued, from my estimation, we got an undervalued, Miami Heat team. Once again, more rested Miami Heat team on the road. They've, started these playoffs extremely hot, specifically on the road as well. They've been playing some of their best basketball when their backs are, I wouldn't say backs against the wall, but when they're, I guess, more so being counted out. They went into Milwaukee in game 1 without Giannis and won that game in the first round. Went into the Garden and beat the Knicks as well. So now they got a chance to take down the Celtics. And I think the biggest part for me in this game is kind of looking at the rest advantage, even though the Celtics do have a couple, a few extra days of rest. So first thing I looked at was this Heat team total. The Heat team total is like 101.5 today. Extremely low. I know the Celtics have been playing, some really great defense in the last 2 games against the 76ers. They kind of held the 76ers, like way below their team total. You could have took some alt lines on those team totals for the Philadelphia 76ers in game 6 and 7. You would have made a lot, you would have made you could have got a couple good plus money bets. I think the Celtics held that team down to about 86 points per game in the last 2 games. So I think we see some, a little bit of a slip up here on defense. I think the biggest difference between guarding the Heat and guarding the 76ers is, for one, Doc makes no adjustments. For 2, when you're guarding the Philadelphia 76ers, you're, low-key just locked in on Embiid and what is Embiid going to do? How can we figure out how to slow Embiid down? So the Heat, it doesn't feel like you can necessarily do that from my estimation. They have a lot of different guys that can kind of hurt you in their own respective ways. Guys that can get to the rim. guys that can shoot the 3-point ball, mid-range. Then you got Bam. So I like the Heat chances in this game. I don't know about the whole series. We'll have to see how this series kind of progresses. Not willing to put my eggs in the basket, all my eggs in the basket, and say that the Heat are going to win this series. If you think so, you can get a really nice plus price on them before the series starts. I want to say it's something like 55-1. So you could, potentially make $550 by risking $100 bet there. But I do like their chances early in the series. And like I said, it's more so from Celtics needing to get punched in the mouth first, and the Heat really play well to kind of start series. Then you throw in the rest advantage as well that they have, which I think is something that comes into play. And it's not necessarily just because they have the rest advantage. It's more so because the Celtics literally just played 2 Game 7s. They didn't play 1 Game 7. If you remember correctly, in Game 6, when they were in Philly, they actually lost the lead in the third quarter. So having your back against the wall 2 times, to me, kind of, says that they may let up today. So what I played was, so a couple trends that I looked at. And I gave this, I think this was part of my write-up when I gave it out. Let me get back to it real quick. We have, I should have had this up already. Give me a second. All right, so we have favorites after a Game 7 in general. They're just 6-13-1. That's 27% against the spread is what favorites are covering after a Game 7. Also 6-9-1, which is only 40% when they're less rested than their opponent coming off a Game 7. And then you look at home favorites playing in the third round or later in the playoffs after playing a Game 7. They're just 2-7 in Game 1s of the third round after playing in a Game 7 in round 2. They're also only winning by average margin of 2 points. So I think while Boston is the more talented team, I absolutely think that they are. They're the deeper team. I absolutely think that they are, especially with the injuries, that Miami is facing. I like them in this spot. I like them early. I'm not the biggest Heat fan. I'm definitely not a part of Heat culture. I'm a part of winning culture. I'm just trying to find the winners. And the Celtics, we know, like historically throughout the playoffs, throughout last year, they just got to get punched first. And I'm not 100% sure why. I also think that, I typically like fading players when they're coming off 50-point performances. I know Tatum is young. I know Tatum is great. I know Tatum is built for the playoffs. But I wouldn't be looking at Tatum to go over his points prop today, just because I typically like I said, I like fading players off 50-point performances, specifically in Game 7 when the back's against the wall. It tends to be a letdown spot in the next game, a la Steph Curry, a couple weeks ago after he beat Sacramento, and then having to come back home and deal with that Laker defense. So for all those reasons, I did take the Heat plus the 8.5 points. Does feel like a game they should be able to kind of play well in. I think the adjustments will be made afterwards. I also get a coaching edge too, Spoelstra in this one. I think he does the most with having the least probably of any coach in the NBA. And he's always going to have his guys prepared. They're going to be boxing out. They're going to be taking charges. They're going to be swinging the ball. They're not going to take ill-advised shots. And you don't have to worry about them from an effort standpoint. They won't show up like the Lakers, did in the first quarter where Jokic had 10 rebounds, right? They're going to hustle, get back on defense. All the little things that, don't necessarily show up in the box sheet, in the box score. So I took the Heat plus the 8.5. Also played the Heat team total over 101.5. To me, the number just, it's extremely conservative of the books to put a number that low. I think the Heat try to push the pace so you're not matched up against the Celtics in the half-court offense. In their half-court defense, Robert Williams is still supposed to be starting for the Boston Celtics as well. And I think while that benefits the Celtics defense, I think you're just going to see some adjustments. Another thing I looked at was I think it was teams are, let's see, I got this one in my notes too. So teams are, the Heat specifically, 5-1 to the over on their team total when they're playing in road games, and they've been a dog in all those road games as well. So they've covered their team total in all 5 games except one. Boston coming off the hard fought series, I think it's some complacency there. And then the other big trend that I looked at from a league standpoint, from like a historical standpoint, was just home teams coming off of Game 7 since 2015. The 8-1 to the over in Game Ones in the next round, with seven of their 9 opponents actually going over their team total in that spot as well. So I think they let up on the defensive end today. Boston has lost a few games already at home. Round 1, they lost game 5 at home. They lost game 5 at home to Atlanta, then had to go on the road and finish Atlanta off in Atlanta. And then, of course, in game number 1, in the last series, they lost with no Joel Embiid. In game 5, they also laid an egg and got smacked up in that game. Spot that I was on them pretty heavily involved in that game. This actually was the last loss that we had, 10-0 run on size and total since that game, if we're reflecting down memory lane. So I like the team total over for the Heat, over 101.5. I like the spread plus 8.5 as well. And I also played the full game over as well. Just kind of back in the numbers that I just already shared with you guys. So over to 11, I think, is what I had. I got to fix this because I still got the total up here from yesterday. The total now is 212. And it's crazy because in the fourth quarter of Game 7 against Philadelphia the other day, disrespectful enough as it was, DraftKings dropped this line at 207, and it's been bet up 5 points already. So I do think that we see this game go over. Defense typically comes after the adjustments are kind of put in play. So game ones typically go over as the series goes on. There's only so many things you can kind of do to adjust to a team, and that's typically when you see the under start to fall in play. After all the adjustments have been made. So 3 plays for me, over 211 for the full game. Heat team total over 101.5. And I also took the Heat at plus 8.5 as well. So 3 official plays for me. Because I have 3 plays, I didn't really dive too deep into props. I bet you I know some guys who did, though. So send me a request if you guys have prop plays. But yeah, if I'm looking at anything on the prop side, I think you just keep going back to the well with Tatum. His rebounds and assist line has been money. I think he's something like 7 to 9 in the playoffs or something crazy like that. Dude's been killing it, with the rebounds and assist line. But honestly, that's really all I looked at. So all I looked at. Oh, and I know Ben. I see Ben requested up. I do like the look that he talked about. Me and him kind of chopped it up. I'm not gonna give it away. I'll let him talk about that one if he wants to. But I think he got a look that I'm pretty sure I'll at least put a little bit of money on today. Just probably a quarter unit. Not really been big into a lot of the props recently. So send me a request if you guys have a play that you want to share. And before I get to it, let's see. Before I get the people up, let's see. David said, right read, wrong prop. Took Dennis 10 points last night. David says, casuals got to learn that this is gambling. Coop says Boston doesn't always follow success with success. Like Spo and Jimmy to cover the plus 8. I would play the line at plus 8 too. It's still some 8.5 available. Definitely shop around. Make sure you're getting the best line. We typically don't see these spreads, really matter too much. Like I said, the team that's been winning has been covering about 90% of the time. But if you took the Nuggets late and you got that 7 yesterday, which is what the line closed at, you did lose that bet. If you got the 6, then you got to push and got your money back. But if you jumped in as soon as the game, was made available on Friday night, then you cash because the spread actually opened on DraftKings at 4.5 on Friday night after the Lakers beat the Golden State Warriors. So just wanted to make sure I got all those out. What's up, Sean? Ruiz says Spo is a good game plan coach, so I do want to see how they attack Boston defense. Ali says spaces were lit yesterday. Ali hit a big plus 12,000 yesterday. Absolutely. I'm glad you hit that, Ali. Appreciate you being here today in the comment section as well. Watching on YouTube, always for the support. Tariq says, what's up, Chris? Team total for both teams. Over for both teams. I just played my Miami team total over. I think 101.5 is extremely conservative in my estimation for Miami tonight. So I like that. Troy says, Chris, would you be interested to hear Chris would be interested to hear your opinion on this trend. The playoffs, when 70% of cash is on the road team and the line doesn't move towards them, home teams are 7-0 against the spread. Damn, I got to look more into that, Trey. I'm gonna actually write that down and look a little more into that. He also says, I personally think Celtics remember losing to the Heat game 1 of the series last year, not to mention Philly last round. So yeah, I don't think that you're wrong, Trey. I think that the Celtics can win this game. I just don't think it's going to be by multiple possessions. I don't think they're going to lose by 10. So we'll see how it goes. But you do make a lot of good points on the opposite side for sure. I think that they could win the game without necessarily covering the spread. And I also think that they're live dogs in this game as well. But we'll see how it goes. We'll definitely see how it goes. Interesting trends there, Trey. I'm gonna write that down and look a little more into that. Is it a Strus or Vincent or even Kyle Lowry game? Who knows, David? I would tell you to, write all their names on a small piece of paper, put it in a hat, close your eyes, shake it up, put it in a jar or something, and pick one out. Who knows, right? Who knows? Let's see what the guys are on, though. And like I said, hit the like button for me if you guys can as well. Ben, I want to start with you today. I feel like I saw your request first. What's going on, Ben? How you doing, my brother?
Hey, how you doing, Chris?
I'm good, man. What's going on?
I'm on a lot of different stuff, but not for a whole lot.
Okay.
There's things I feel good about, but it's game 1, so we don't got to go crazy.
That's a fact, yeah.
I think both of these teams see this series going, a number of games, right? This is not going to be a 4 or 5 game series, right? So for that reason, I don't see teams putting in a whole lot of effort early in the series defensively, at least this game, so I'm on the first half over at 108 and the full game over at 211 and a half, I think is what I got it at.
Okay.
Like half unit on each one, I'm totally with you on the Heat with the spread. I think Boston wins the game, but I think it's close. I'm going to wait to get it live. I think I'm going to try to catch like an 11 and a half for the same reasons you did, just because I think there will be a time when Boston gets up by 5 or 6 points early, but I mean, this is early, right? This is a game of ebbs and flows. And maybe we can catch the book giving us a few extra points. If I can't, I might be kicking myself, but that's going to be my strategy with that one going in. I'm on 2 props, and I think they correlate. So, bear with me. The first one's the one that you discussed with me in the DMs the other day. It's Derek White over the 7.5 points. I think it's disrespectful. Just looking at how these 2 lineups, right, are going to be put together. The Heat are small. They're really, really small. There's going to be times where either depending on who you want to say, Martin or Jimmy Butler, they're going to be playing the 4. They are both smaller than Jaylen Brown, who's going to play the 2 at times for Boston, right? So the Heat are just not very big. So. I think there's going to be times where the Heat try to play one of Boston's 2 bigs off the floor, which means that Boston's going to have to pivot to some more minutes for Derek White and Malcolm Brogdon. And I just, I just think that White getting to 7.5 points, that's really not asking all that much from a guy who averaged close to double this during the regular season. The other prop I'm on is Kevin Love over 1.5 threes. I did some digging into the first series versus the second series for Kevin Love. And there was, a huge contrast in the minutes allocated. And I had to look and say, okay, whose roster do I think Boston is more like, right? Are they more like Milwaukee or are they more like New York? And for me, they're more like Milwaukee, right? They got 2 bigs that are going to play and they got Jason Tatum, right? So Milwaukee has 2 bigs, Portis and Lopez, and Giannis, right? So I think that means Love is going to have a little bit bigger of a role in this series. So far this playoffs and games where Love's played 20 minutes, he's cashed the 1.5 threes line 6 of 7 games. In the Milwaukee series, he cashed overall in 4 of the 5 games. In the New York series, he just wasn't really played on the floor, right? Like Mitchell Robinson's a bad matchup for him and Randall's a bad matchup. He was able to match up a little bit with Hardenstein, but obviously Robinson's getting the majority of those minutes. Ironically enough, the game where Robinson was in foul trouble and Hardenstein had to play the majority of the minutes, that's the game where one of the two games Love cashed his threes line. So I think that in order for Miami to win the series, I think it's no secret they got to make shots, right? And Kevin Love's an experienced player, obviously a ton of playoff experience, just dating back years and years and years. So, I think that he's going to get the minutes that we're talking about here, the 20-plus minutes more often than not, and he's cashing that line almost every time when he does. So Kevin Love over 1.5 threes.
Okay. I mean, that makes a lot of sense to me. I also think that, we were not everybody, but I know I was a little hesitant yesterday at jumping out on some of these 3-point lines, but I could absolutely see that. I think that makes a lot of sense. Appreciate you, big guy. All right.
I do have one for tomorrow that I think is going to move. If I could give that out now.
Yeah. Go ahead. What you got?
I think AD takes a lot of pride in whether he's playing good defense or not. I think he takes pride in trying to bounce back from Jokic cooking him yesterday. Right? I just don't think Jokic cares about playing defense. I think he's just so involved offensively. I think that's where all of his energy is going.
Yeah, we've been talking about that for a while.
AD has played against Jokic 7 times in the playoffs over the course of his career. He has cashed the 24.5, 7 of 7 games. So I'm on AD over 24.5 tomorrow at -115 for a pretty decent size bet.
It makes a lot of sense. I talked about this earlier when I did Let's Cap with my guy Ronald. So I'm there with you. Like, what do they throw at him specifically? What do they have to throw at him specifically? I don't think I think nothing is the answer to the question, Ben. And like you said, not to beat a dead horse, but we've talked on this show specifically about if you're going to attack Denver, you got to do it inside the paint. You got to do it with somebody that can score, right at the rim. And Jokic understands his importance to the team, his importance of staying on the floor. And the Nuggets are the best offensive team in the league. And 80% of that is because they have a guy that can, is the top rated offensive player, probably the best player in basketball right now. If we're, just putting numbers beside names. So I think he understands his importance of being on the floor. And he could care less if you score, because can you outscore him is the name of the game, and the way I think that they try to play it in Denver. So I like that look, and I'm probably gonna be there with you tomorrow, Ben, on that.
Ironically enough, did you see that video of AD shooting threes before the game yesterday?
I didn't.
So there was a tweet that was posted about how AD got to the arena real early and was taking threes at all 5 spots, and he wasn't moving on until he made 100 at each spot. And I looked it up, and AD's got an incredibly strong track record of making threes against Jokic. I believe it's at least one in 5, either 5 of 7 or 6 of 7 playoff games against Jokic, including yesterday. So I put a little bit on AD to hit a 3 tomorrow as well at +225.
Okay. Hey, I can't talk you off of it. I can't talk you off of it at all. I know you hit one yesterday. What was it? Left corner, second half, splash, went straight through. So
and he made a bunch of other extended jump shots too.
Yeah, I mean,
easy.
Yeah, his jump shot is looking really, really good in the playoffs in general. Him, Rui Hachimura, those guys are shooting at a pretty elite level. I feel like AD wasn't making his jump shot like at that rate throughout the regular season, or even throughout the end of the regular season. It'd be like, some makes and some misses, but he's shooting like at the rim percentage from 15 plus feet. So yeah, I can't talk you off. I think that's definitely worth a sprinkle. If you can find somewhere that gives you the 2, that might be worth the sprinkle as well, Ben. So love the looks from Ben today. Ben said he's on Derek. Go ahead, Ben. Say it one more time.
+600 for the 2 threes.
+600 for the 2 threes. Yeah, I think that's definitely worth the sprinkle. Don't go too crazy on it, but it could be in play tomorrow, especially if he hits one early. So like the look there. Schroeder, was +430 yesterday. He hit one immediately when the game started. So like the odds for him hitting another one. So like the looks. Ben says he's on the first half over, the full game over. Derek White points tonight at 7.5, and Kevin Love over 1.5 threes. Gave out some, really good analysis behind those and why he likes them as well. Appreciate you for contributing as always, Ben, and I hope you cash these, my guy. Let's keep going. Let's go Great White, and then let's go Dream, Stefan, and Frag. If I can remember that order. Great White, you up next. What's going on, my guy?
What's up, brother? What's up?
What's up, man? Talk to me. I know you got some Miami Heat stuff for me today. What you liking?
I got a couple things, man. So I agree with you. I'm gonna get these two out of the way real quick. I agree with you with the Heat plus 8.5. If there's a chance for the Heat to steal a game, it's gonna be game one. Boston, I know there's probably gonna still be a little tired. Plus, this is Heat revenge season. They got eliminated by the Celtics the last go around in the Eastern Conference Finals. I know for sure that's going to be on their mind, so I think the Heat are going to come out strong in this game one tonight, especially since they're the more rested team. That also leads me to their team total over 101.5. I got that locked in. Also, reference the total. The Heat are 12-1 in the playoffs, including the playing games. On the 101.5, they've gone over 12 times out of the 13 games. So the fact that they're still disrespecting the Heat team total, I had to take a shot at it and lock it in. Now, I'm going to go to the other side, Al Horford, over 6.5 rebounds for 1 unit. He's hit this number 7 out of the last 10 playoff games. And in 2 of those misses, he got 6 rebounds. So he should have plenty of opportunities to get to at least get over this number because Bam's the only real big rebounder. Aside from Jimmy and Kevin Love when he's in. But Al Horford, he's going to have his chances tonight. And then this is my favorite play of the game. I got a 10 to 10K challenge going on right now that I'm doing for free. If people want to check that out. I'm on day 3 right now of this ladder. It's going to be Jimmy and Bam, 1 steal each, and minus 125. I got that locked in the morning. In their last 13 games that Bam and Jimmy have played together, in 9 of those games, they've each gotten 1 steal. In 9 of those together combined. And in their last 13 games individually, they each got at least 1 steal in 10 of those games by themselves. There was 1 game where each of them had 1 steal and the other one didn't get it. Also, when they've played Boston 4 times, but in 2 of those games, Bam and Jimmy played Boston together in those 2 games. Bam and Jimmy got a steal each in both of those games that they played Boston together. So I'm hoping that cashes, and keep going up the ladder, trying to get people to 10K, increase that bankroll, and let's cash all these plays, man.
Absolutely. Appreciate you sharing that. So Great White says he's doing a 10-day challenge. He's on day number 3. And today he locked in Jimmy 1 steal and Bam 1 steal. If you guys want to tell that. Look, also likes Al Horford over 6.5 rebounds. And also likes that team total that I'm on as well for the Miami Heat over 101.5 today. So hopefully that's a 3-0 day, Great White. And I appreciate you sharing the looks, my guy. Let's keep going. I think I forgot already what I said. I'm gonna just go in order. My fault, man. Cam, Stefan, and Dream is what I see. Then I see Frag. So let's go Cam, Stefan, Dream. Hopefully don't know maneuvering happen. What's up, Cam?
Hold on, man. I'll be quick. I'm like doing a lot in the background. So you mentioned just Jason Tatum. Actually, first, I just want to say shout out to everybody yesterday. I kind of just took a bunch of the best bets, put it into a nice 1078 parlay, and it hit nice. So shout out to everybody up in here. Sometimes it pays to listen, you know what I'm saying? So Jason Tatum over 14.5 rebounds and assists. You mentioned it. He's hit a 10 of 13. That's the number you're looking for. 10 of 13 for the whole playoffs. You've gone over that. I'm not going to speak on Gabe Vincent because I'm going to let him speak on that. But I'm with him on it. And then Horford over 2.5 stocks. He's gone over that. 13. It's plus 125. I'm fine with how he's right. I just stepped up his beat up a lot in the last round. Went for the last 5. And then just again, it's 8 of 13 throughout the playoffs. So I'm expecting some plays that I know it's going to be kind of an up and down game. I do agree with the overs, but I'd expect somebody to play defense. If you like Horford and you just want to go with blocks, you can also hit that line. I'll block that well for 1.5. So it's a real nice number. Really for some plus money. So yeah, those are just the 2 I'm on. I'm on Gabe Vincent, but like I said, I'm letting you speak on it. I'm letting on Gabe Vincent.
Okay.
Go get better analysis. But the number he's going to give out,
Okay.
Anyway, y'all, that's where I'm at. And good luck there.
Absolutely. Absolutely, Cam. Appreciate you sharing the looks.
Oh, and AG, to get on it now, 125 is still over 3.5.
3.5 stocks.
It's 3.5. It's still 3.5. It's minus 125. So yeah, a little bit worse, but not nowhere near bad enough for us to walk away from it and get that by the third quarter yesterday.
Yeah.
And you could have had like 6%. So it's just one of those things. Well, if they keep it 3.5 or 4.5, I'm playing it.
Yeah, I mean, it makes a lot of sense. And we talked about getting on that one early yesterday. Cam had a little bit of background noise in the going on in the back, but if you didn't hear the plays, he said that he likes the Tatum rebounds and assists number that I talked about earlier. Not official play for me, but he likes that number 14.5 today. The over. Al Horford, steals plus blocks today, Cam likes. And then AD, steals plus blocks tomorrow. So we got some couple looks for tomorrow as well from Ben on AD and Cam on AD as well. Number that he cashed yesterday, I think over 3.5 steals plus blocks. If they have him in that Roman spot like they did last night with Rui Hachimura on Jokic, it is gonna make it a little bit more difficult for Jokic just to throw up them shots because AD was playing some of the greatest defense. Well, in the second half, he was playing some of the greatest defense I ever seen, and Jokic was still just scoring. Like it was crazy. It was some Jokic was on a different level. I don't expect them to be on that level every single game this series. I expect him to eventually like not shoot 99% from the field. And yeah, it could be a couple really good defensive possessions for AD in there mixed as well. So could not talk anybody off of looking at those looks that Cam just mentioned. Hope you cash them, Cam, and appreciate you sharing them as always. Stefan, you up next. Dream, then Frag. What up, Stefan?
Hey man, doing good. Appreciate you helping me get there yesterday with the KCPAD. That was like a nice little third quarter cash. But we did 2-0 yesterday. Al Horford on Sunday. So since the next one down, it's been a nice little golf thing. So I got 3 I'm on today. Ben did an excellent job on Derek White, so I won't emphasize that. But I will say that there was an excellent article talking about how, like, because the Heat played defense in that zone, that Derek White's in a prime position to kind of bounce out of it. And I really agree with that as well. So the 2 I'm on outside of Derek White are Jimmy's 1.5 steals at minus 104. To me, it's just like it's playoff Jimmy. Like not to even overthink this. Every game one is the Miami Heat, 10 games, 2 steals in all of them. 9 of 12 this postseason. And I also think that the 4-day rest is going to be huge to get some extra juice in his ankle. I really think that I like him for the 2 tonight. So I did that. Also, Jimmy, again, system play at this point. It's Jimmy, 2 boards, 1 dime in the first quarter at minus 115. Did it in every game against the Knicks. He's, I want to say, 9 for 11 this postseason with that. So I'm riding with Jimmy until the wheels fall off on both of those. And my lotto for the day, I have a longer one because I like doing these sprinkles on first quarter plays. You can find that on my page. But the lotto I have for the day is I really think that Miami, if you look at how they guarded Brunson, how they guarded Giannis, they just don't have the bodies. They don't have the guys. So I think you're going to see a lot of that zone. And Tatum, if you want to be bold, I'd go under on his points tonight because I think they're just going to crash down and force him to facilitate and pass it out. So because of that, if you look at Giannis's assist when he played the Heat, that bumped up. Brunson had a couple 8-10 assist games. So I think Tatum's going to potentially get to 8 dimes. So my lotto for the night that I'm sprinkling on, like 0.1 of a unit, is I did Tatum 8 dimes with Derek White 3 threes, and that came up to 1 second here. Sorry, basically it was like 3,100 essentially. I think if Derek White gets some good looks, he's at home. I just follow the recipe for the playoffs, which is stars on the road, role players at home. It just feels like Derek White's a guy where if they're going to win the title, they need him to kind of bounce back and be the guy we saw against the Hawks. So keeping it light, 3 plays and 1 lotto for the night.
Okay, and that was Tatum 8 assists and Derek White. What was the last part again?
3 threes.
Derek White 3 threes and Tatum 8 assists. Yeah, I mean that seems feasible to me. Definitely seems feasible. Okay, I like the look, Stephen. I hope you cash these, bro. Appreciate you sharing them. Yeah, definitely check Stephen page out too, man. He posts all his plays. They typically early with the odds. He telling you what sports book he got him on. And if I ain't talked to Stephen, but I'm pretty sure his life a little less stressful. When your team get eliminated, you don't even care as much no more. Like you don't got to be on eggshells all day. At least that's what I'm I'm not even being funny. That's what I'm hearing by people.
Oh, that's facts, bro. I just sit around just waiting for the game. Like, I really don't care. I'm like, oh, what do I think's gonna happen tonight?
Yeah, that's a fact. That's a fact. It's a little less stress free, man. A little less stress free for sure. So yeah, I like it. Like the looks from Stephen for sure. Let's keep going. Dream, you up next, and then Frag. What up, Dream? Hey, clap it up for Dream, man. I don't know where he at. He probably fell asleep waiting for so long.
What's the vibe? Bro, what's the vibes? My bad, bro. I need 10 minutes, okay?
You good? You good?
Bro.
I'll kick it. I'll kick it. I'll kick it to Frag.
Whenever Drew said he needs 10 minutes, he's about to come with some heat.
Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah, he's still doing his research, that last second research. Frag, what's going on? And Fresco, I don't know if you're still in here, man. I got you up. I wanted to hear what you said, what you like tonight, because yeah, I like to hear what Fresco on. And JLE, I see you as well, man. I'm gonna come to you as well. I'm gonna get to you as well. I'm trying to get to my regular guys first. Frag, you up, man? What's going on, Frag?
Is Stem there? He could go, and then I could go after him at that school. He's usually kind of quick, so.
No. Stem ain't even up. Stem probably working. I don't know what. Stem was up and then he dropped. So yeah, it's just you and JLE.
Okay. Yeah. What's going on, man? How you doing?
I'm good, man. How about you?
Good, man. Not too bad of a day. I mean, 1-1 with the 3-pointer props, but I seen Cam hit some on Twitter, so I mean, I ain't make no money, but I seen Cam make some money, so I was happy about that, honestly. If I could just, help somebody out or just, give a winner out to somebody and help them win, it's always cool. So
Bruce Brown was part of that lay, homie.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, man. The threes market was untapped on that game. They were just letting them fly crazy. So
yeah, that's a fact.
That was dope. So I got a couple ones. I'm definitely aligned with the Derek White. Definitely a sneaky play, 8.5, 7.5. And then the 2 threes, like plus 130, I've seen. I just think Miami, with the size of, JB and JT, I think they're going to have to play zone, man. And I just don't think they just don't got the bodies on them. Like, there's going to be, if they don't run the zone, there's going to be times where Vincent's going to be matched up with, JB and JT. And I just think, I think they got to run the zone. I don't really think they have a choice, honestly. They're going to get eaten alive by these guys. If you look at JB's and JT's numbers against Miami, I mean, they just feast. I know Miami's a good defensive unit, but they usually have good performances. I mean, JT's had a couple 40 balls against them, I think. So I think they run a zone, and I think the threes for the Celtics are, lively. And we know with the Celtics, they live and die by the three, so I'm never too worried about them as far as if they're going to shoot them. They chuckers, they're just going to chuck them. So I think Derek White 2 threes is live. Al Horford kind of, I got to wait and see what he's on. He's been kind of wishy-washy. I think he's made 1 3 in his last 3 games. Different series. Could be a different story, but, it might be a wait and see. They got Marcus Smart 2.5. They was laying 1.5 the whole the second series against Philly. They was laying 1.5 every game. Now they running 2.5. So you could already see they're trying to, the books are, thinking maybe Miami's going to run a zone type of defense. I mean, they put a whole 3 up on that. So, but JD 2.5 is something I'm looking at too for threes. His volume hasn't really been there, but I mean, he could get hot at any time. But the only ones I got right now was the Derek White. That's the only thing I had locked into was the 7.5, and then the 2 threes. Put it half of them separately.
Yeah. Okay. So Derek White for Frag. Okay. Appreciate you sharing that, Frag.
And then one guy I'm really looking at, though, haven't got there yet, though, kind of scared, possibly with the foul trouble because he's going to be matched up against them, is going to be Strus, man. This guy does not like Boston, man. They did him dirty. They cut him, man. They straight up cut him. If you really look into it, they kind of did him dirty. And he had his, in that last game they played in the playoffs, he had his foot on the line in that 3-pointer in the corner. I don't know if y'all remember that. And he's, he took it, he took it real hard on it. He took it hard on himself. He kind of felt like he costed him. That's, a 3-point specialist should always kind of know where his foot is at. You know what I mean? Like, he should always be locked in, especially on the corner. I mean, those guys live for those shots. So I think 10.5 for him is just too low, especially with Vincent. Vincent's the guy I'm thinking that might kind of get X'd out here just because the size. I think it's just a bad matchup for him. So you could see maybe, a lot of Kyle Lowry And then also Caleb Martin. You know, he's kind of undersized, but he's a dog, man. He fights out there. So you never have to worry about, with his, his effort. And his 8.5 points is kind of something I'm looking at too. The 1.5 threes is like plus 170. Could be kind of like a sprinkle on that. But Strus, I think Strus 11.5 points. I think Miami's going to cover the +8. I think Strus is going to at least have to score some. And I think, he has at least some type of size. He's not some defensive world stopper, but at least he has, something. It's not like he's undersized completely. So, and the narrative of him getting cut by Boston, I think, is something I'm definitely looking at. But just the just the Derek White 7.5 and 2 threes, just half a unit on each.
Okay. Yeah. Shout out to Jeffrey in the chat. He said the same thing you said. He said Strus remembers being waived by the Celtics.
Yeah,
could not talk you off. Real quick. John Smith in the chat says Chris blindly follows historical data but doesn't take the matchup into account, or if a player or team has made adjustments that makes them a completely different team than the historical data says. While I agree with your sentiments, John, about teams making adjustments, I follow the game very closely. It's the reason why people join the show to listen to my take, and take my plays. I'm 10-0 in the last 10 plays, and that's not to toot my own horn, but history repeats itself sometimes, and I'd rather go in with some data rather than just picking with emotions, John. So you don't have to tell the plays. You don't have to be in the chat. It's a lot of things that come on at 6 o'clock, 5:30 Eastern time. I don't know what they are because I'm always doing a show, but just find something else to watch. Just find something else to watch, my guy. You don't have to be here. You do not have to be here, my guy.
It's cool if I just ask a question, Chris. My bad.
Yeah. Now go ahead. Then I'm gonna come to JLE and get Godspeed up as well.
What you think about the Rob Williams minutes? Like, you think he's gonna you think he's playing?
Honestly, I have no idea, Frank. I know that Missoula said yesterday they was gonna keep him in the starting lineup. I don't know how much of
just to not about to cut you off. You think it's just like a little filter just to kind of be locked in defensively just early, kind of 5 minutes and then just take him out?
I'm not sure, Frank. That's one of I always talk about not betting game ones. I don't know what he's gonna do on the floor. I don't know. Who he guards. Like this series, especially with Spoelstra, you talk about not betting game ones, and then you talk about having Spoelstra in, who makes literally first quarter adjustments, second quarter adjustments, halftime adjustments. He's going to make adjustments in game 2. So I literally just want to watch this game. The only reason I'm betting on it is because of what John said, because of the historical data tells me that home favorites don't play as well on the road. They don't play as well, after coming off a 7-game series. So, I'm following the data on this one, and Boston just hasn't looked like, the team that they were last year, even though I would argue they got better talent this year when you add a guy like Malcolm Brogdon. So I don't know what that looks like, Frag, with him being out there. I don't know how many minutes he's going to play, because of course this is a totally different series. They don't necessarily need him as much, right? He was out there to be able to play off of PJ Tucker. But he's not going to be able to roam like that because Miami, puts a lineup out there where they can, have all shooters. So it's going to be tick for tack, because while Kevin Love can knock down the threes, they're definitely going to try to put Kevin Love in as many pick and rolls as possible. And when you have Kevin Love's best defense is when he's playing off ball, so he can take those charges. Not necessarily move his feet and try to stay in front of people laterally. So I'm not sure what that looks like, Fred. I will be extremely locked in on this game. But I don't know what that looks like, beforehand, Frank, at all.
Yeah, man. Appreciate you having me up. Thanks for the insight. And again, man, my bad for, taking too much time. I might hit the buzzer,
Yeah, no, you good. You good.
Appreciate it.
Absolutely. JLE, I think it's your first time up, my guy. How you doing, man?
Doing good. How are you?
I'm pretty good. You got something for us today? What you looking at?
Yeah, I got 2. So I know everyone's on Derek White today, but if you look at his game log, every single time he's hit the over 7.5, he's also hit at least 2 threes, and his 2 threes is plus 130. So I think it's a much safer play than the points, especially at plus 130. And then also with Robert Williams, I mean, we already heard it a million times. Everyone's on him, but I feel like that's a much safer play.
So then Derek White over 1.5 threes?
Yeah, 1.5 threes plus 130.
Okay.
And I'm looking at top point scorer. Jimmy's plus 165 on FanDuel right now. So I know a lot of people are taking his over 27.5. A lot of people are on Tatum's under. And then I put 2 units on Jimmy to be the top point scorer. I feel like that's the best play for this game.
What was the odds on that, JLE?
It was plus 165.
Okay, that is a lot better than him actually taking his points. So Jimmy top point scorer plus 165. I think that is a better bet than actually probably taking his points because he's going to need to score more than that unless you want to just take his his points prop up. What is he sitting at, like 27.5?
Yeah, 27.5.
Yeah, so yeah, unless you wanted to take him at plus money.
165 another game this series.
Yeah. If you listen to the quotes, man, Jimmy said they're gonna come in here and do what they got to do to get, try to get game 1. And I think they're the best advantage, in this spot specifically. So could not talk you off of either one of those, Jelly. I think looking at Derek White threes over his points, has more value too. I like the way you're thinking. Because if he scores 7 points, he probably gonna hit 2 threes. He's gonna at least attempt 4 to 5. So yeah, you're getting a little bit, a lot, well, not even a little bit, lot better value. When I looked at his points earlier at 7.5, it was like minus 125 on most books. And if you can get 2 threes at plus money, I think that is the, probably the preferred way to go.
Yeah, his line just went up to 8.5 on FanDuel too.
That makes a lot of sense. I appreciate the looks, Jelly. I hope you catch these, bro.
Oh, thank you.
Absolutely. Let me come back to Godspeed, then I'll come to Dream. What up, Godspeed? How you doing, bro?
Yo, what up, bro? How you doing?
I'm good, man. How about yourself? What's going on?
I'm doing good. I just yesterday I didn't have too much of nothing. I just watched the game, enjoyed it. Those good days, pretty good. Just enjoy the game. But today I'm going for. I don't got no props. You can take any of these straight if you like, because I like them straight. But I just took them up and kind of made a blunt money bet.
Okay, what you got?
But I got Jaylen Brown 30 points. Like you said, right before JLE spoke, history kind of repeats itself. He matched up good against the Heat. I like him at the shooting guard because of size, like y'all mentioned, and everything. So I think that's an advantage there. So if they go zone, like Frag said, I don't think he'll be hesitant to let the 3 fly. He got 3 threes in the last 8 out of 10 games or something like that. So I like Jaylen Brown for 30. His line is 24.5. You can take it there. A lot of people on Derek White. I see why. I say he got a good, strong history. But I'm going to take Brogdon. I'm taking Brogdon for 3 threes with Jaylen Brown 30. I like Brogdon because if you look at the minutes that he played, last series, I know it's a different series, but when he gets those minutes, 25-plus minutes, the one game that he played Miami, he actually hit 5 threes that game. So I like Brogdon because we know Miami going to give up the 3. They do it. They've been doing it for the past few years. They've been giving up threes like crazy. And then I took Tatum 12 rebounds. In the last 2 games, Tatum had 14 to 12 rebounds. In the game before that, he had 11 rebounds. He's probably Boston's best rebounder, honestly. He's going to go rebound the ball. That has become an essential part of his game, and he got to do that for the team to win. And then I took Marcus Smart 6 assists. So everything, all in all, is Jaylen Brown 30 points, Tatum 12 rebounds, Brogdon 3 threes, Marcus Smart 6 assists. And if you look at Marcus Smart assists, I really like him at the point without Derek White in the lineup. Last couple games, when they had him at the 1, he had plenty potential assists to get this done. But when you look at the game 7, we knew the ball was going to be in Tatum's hand. It really can't be in Marcus Smart's hand as much. You got to put the ball in your superstar's hand. This is game 1. You never know what you're going to get. I don't think any of us predicted the game 1 yesterday was going to be like that.
That's a fact.
Like I said, I'm taking a chance with this. Blunt money bet is plus 4,000. Throw a quarter unit on it. Something small, nothing crazy. Marcus Smart, the last 2 games versus Miami, he's had 9 assists. So if you want to take a look at that, or like I said, you can even dumb it down. Marcus Smart assist line is 4.5. On some books, it might be pretty juice. But if you take that bet and just dumb it down with Jaylen Brown 25, Tatum 10 rebounds, just a double-double essentially. Brogdon 2 threes, and Marcus Smart 5 assists, you still get a plus 600, which is pretty good.
Okay. Okay, I hope y'all heard the legs to that. Godspeed said he got a little parlay he throwing out tonight, being that yesterday was such a high scoring game. Like you said, I don't think anybody predicted it to be like that. Godspeed. So could not talk you off for playing a little something spicy tonight, especially with only one game. I hope you cash it, and I appreciate you sharing it, bro.
For sure, bro.
Absolutely, absolutely. Dream, you ready? Sound like me.
Yeah, bro. What's the vibe?
What up, man? What up, bro? What up, Dream?
Ain't nothing, man. How you?
I'm good, bro. I ain't hitting plus thousands, but I'm trying to cash,
Nah, you good, man. So just to recap, man. 2-1 yesterday. LeBron did his job. Aaron Gordon, I don't know what happened there. So, and the 25 hit lay. The 25-point lay hit. Shout out to everybody that told that. Appreciate it. And I appreciate Chris giving me a platform to share my plays, man. So, with all that said, that's what I'm on today. I've already posted these looks, so the numbers may have changed a little bit, but I still play them all. So, first, Gabe Vincent, over 3.5 assists. We've been on him, I don't know, for this whole streak. He's cashed it in, I want to say 6 straight games, and either 6 or 7 straight games. He's going over this number. A lot of that plus money is still minus 115. Still love it there. Basically, he's a starting point guard. And if he starts off strong, he'll play 30-plus minutes. On the low end, he'll get like 24 minutes. So I love Gabe Vincent assists. And he, for the series, plus 2.5 games. If somebody gave this play out, I apologize. I really wasn't able to listen. I was busy. But he, for the series, plus 2.5 games, minus 135 at DraftKings last time I checked. It's simple. He got to win 2 games, and you win the bet. I think Jimmy gets us a game, and I think Spoke gets us a game, and we win that bet. So those are my 2 straight bets. As far as some blunt money bets, I'll give y'all Caleb 3 threes, Caleb Martin 3 threes plus 650. I heard somebody speaking about Kevin Love earlier, and I couldn't talk you off Kevin Love, but I think this is going to be a Caleb Martin series because they don't have Oladipo this year, and they're already missing a lot of wing depth. So I think they're going to need somebody to help guard Tatum, somebody to help guard Jaylen Brown, and I don't think Kevin Love is really going to be a major factor in this series, especially if the Celtics decide to go small and Tatum's at the 4. So Tatum's at the 4. I expect Kevin Love not to be in the game, and I expect Caleb Martin to be at the 3 or 4. So with all that being said, 3 threes for him is plus 650. He's the type that they would leave open in the corner and let him shoot. He can hit the threes, kind of like Schroeder yesterday. And a couple future blunt money bets. So to lead the series in assists and to lead the series in threes, 4 plays, 3 players. Tatum to lead the entire series in assists is plus 750. I got that at DraftKings. Gabe Vincent to lead the entire series in assists, that's plus 10,000. Brogdon to have the most threes in the series, plus 1,200. He just had the most threes in the last series by a good margin. Tatum closed it. Game 7, actually Game 6 and 7. Tatum had like 11 threes, and it still wasn't enough to overtake Brogdon. So I'll take him at plus 1,200. And Gabe Vincent, again, to have most threes in the series, plus 7,500. I think Gabe turns it around the series. He had a rough end of the last series. So I'm pretty sure we get us a 15, 20-point Gabe Vincent game. So if that's the case, he will hit some threes. So I think those are great values. And all my plays on my page, so you can follow me. And if you miss like some blunt money bets, just go to YouTube and search blunt money bets, and I'll pop up. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. Jim got the blunt money bets. He got the straights. He got the series. Projections for the leaders, assist leaders, 3-point leaders. I like it. I like it all. A lot of great value. Like you said, you can, you just sprinkle on those plus 7,500s. You could, you're gonna hit one of the 2. Most likely you're gonna hit one of the 2. So could not talk you off. The thing that you said the most that stuck out to me, Dream, is I hadn't really thought about this from a player perspective, but Caleb Martin is absolutely going to be on the floor. I think it's a Caleb Martin series as well. I really like Caleb Martin. I talked about him in the last series. We cashed on him, then we didn't cash, and then we didn't go back, and he did cash in the next game. I think he's probably the second best perimeter defender on this team outside of Jimmy Butler. So I do think he's going to be needed to be able to score, just not even needed to be able to score. I think his minutes in general will put him in a position to be able to score because he's going to play a lot of minutes in this series. I'm going to try to find a way to play Caleb Martin too. Like you said, his threes, I think, are live. PRA probably is live as well. Points plus rebounds probably live because he's just going to get the minutes. So I like that, Dre.
Yeah, I almost got there with points and rebounds. I just want to see kind of how the rotations go game one, so I just sprinkled his threes. But yeah, his points and rebounds was 13.5 plus money last time I checked.
Makes a lot of sense. Makes a lot of sense to me. Yeah, I like Caleb Martin. Even if I don't play it tonight, I'll probably find a way to play him in the next game. But I do like the Heat in game one. So I don't know who that's gonna be specifically because I can never tell which one of these guys is gonna step up. But I do think Caleb Martin plays a little bit more than Kevin Love. So we'll see how it goes. I'll probably just fill it out. Won't take anything. Come back to Great White, and then we getting up out of here. What's up, Great White?
I just wanted to add on someone. I think it was Frag that brought up Robert Williams and asking if how much he's going to play or not. I just looked. I looked at his previous games versus the Heat, including this year. This was before the Heat got Kevin Love. But Robert Williams, he had 11 points, 8 rebounds. I think it was a game either December or January. I think it was January, and he played almost 32 minutes in that game. So I don't know if Mazzulla's going to change things up or follow that same formula, since it worked for them back earlier on.
Okay. So Robert Williams, look. Also, I forgot to mention. I failed to mention this earlier too. Euphoria in the YouTube comment section said he like Bam double today, and it's plus money at 125. I know nobody really talked about Bam, but yeah, another player that's going to be out there. Nobody really talked about him, so I couldn't talk anybody off of that. And then Lockdown just tweeted me. He said, minus 110. It's a sixth of a unit for him. Builder, playoff Jimmy. We all know and love him. He's going to play all 12 minutes in the first quarter. Hit 9 of 12 these playoffs and 6 of 7 versus Boston last playoffs. Someone in ChrisBeCappinn Spaces mentioned this, so shout out to them. I added Jimmy one steal too. 9 for 12 these playoffs and 6 of 7 versus Boston last year in the playoffs. So he has a Jimmy one steal and Jimmy 2 first quarter rebounds. And he's going 6 of a unit. And research is also there as well. Appreciate you, Lockdown, and I hope you cash the look, my guy. I hope you cash it. Stefan, coming back to you, and then Frag, and we getting up out of here. What's up, Stefan?
Hey, I just want to say one thing. I've been chasing this for like 2-3 games, but my guy, my guy Dream always brings up about that whole like steals and blocks and what they are. The Kyle Lowry blocks log is insane. It's like 7 for 10 this postseason, and his line is plus 155. And the little thing I kind of picked up on is obviously he comes off the bench. If you just wait to take it, like when he comes in the game, I think it jumps up to like plus 200. So that's something where like if the Jimmy comes through early and I'm playing with plus money and I'm in the positive, I'm in the green, I'm going to throw something on that because there's something to like this dude is just an annoying guy to play against. And he's just pesky in those passing lanes, and he just keeps getting these blocks. So just something to be mindful of if you wanted something live to look at, if you just already up and just like, something I can throw some money on.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, I feel like nobody really talked about Jimmy too much. I know JLE talked about him being a points leader. But yeah, I mean, it still kind of feels like we're discrediting Jimmy just a tad bit with nobody really being on him too much today. I know you talked about his steals too, Stephen, and his 2 rebounds and 1 assist in the first quarter. But yeah, top point scorer, Jimmy to go over his points. If you're feeling real risky, Jimmy 35 in the win for, a little, has to be a crazy, plus odds parlay. If you think playoff Jimmy going to not leave this game with a win. So couldn't talk anybody off of any of those looks. Court, I see you in my mentions. You said Caleb Martin over 1.5 threes is plus 175 on BetMGM. I couldn't talk you off of that, Court. What I'll tell you is that if you have BetMGM, 175 is almost the worst odds you can get. Definitely check out Caesars if you got an opportunity to. It's plus 196 is the best odds. And FanDuel actually got plus 190. So definitely don't play that 175 if you can get a plus 196. Almost, 2 to 1 odds for Caleb Martin to hit 2 threes. So wanted to make sure I mentioned that. And then come back to Frag as well before we jump off. What up, Frag?
Yeah, no, the Kyle Lowry is definitely a sneaky look, man. The guy's just a vet, man. So he's just been in, countless games. It's like a simulation. Like he's been in, just the thousands of games. So definitely a sneaky look by Steffen. But I've never gave out a defensive prop. I've never really been into those things. But I think Bam for one block at -135 is definitely. That might be my first defensive prop. We all remember the block he got on Tatum in the bubble. I think Bam for a block is very viable. I can see JB going in there attacking the rim. I always speak on JB relentlessly attacking the rim, and I can just see Bam sending his shit to the crowd. I'm like, why?
Yeah, I can see that too. I think it's steals plus blocks. Shout out to my guy Munoz. He talked about this one earlier. He really liked his steals plus blocks. I think the line is 1.5, and it's pretty decent value as well. Anybody wanting to get on Bam and potentially get that steal plus the block. He's gonna play a lot of minutes. I think they're live to win this game outright. So no way I could talk you off for that, Fred. It was actually one way I was looking today too, but with 3 plays on the side and the total, I just don't want to play anything else. So I'll probably stay off and not play anything. But I do like that look. Shout out to my guy Munoz for pointing that out. It was one more.
Sure.
Go ahead, Red.
And it's coming from me, I bet on JB a lot. And one thing I've noticed with him, his dribble is not that good. He does not have a good crossover. He's very sloppy with the ball, and he turns the ball over a lot. So the steals is definitely a live look. His dribble is not as clean as they were talking about it in the Warriors the game when he in the finals, he was turning the ball over like crazy. So I think JB could be live for some giving steals up to these Miami players.
Yeah. So what you're saying, Frag, is that he had James Harden guarding him last series. We got you, my brother. Get to the rim whenever you want to when James Harden guarding you.
That's what I'm
saying. Yeah, I like it. I like it a lot. Shout out to the new members, man. Jamal Boast, I think is how you pronounce that. Appreciate you for joining. Robert Peters, appreciate you joining as well. If you guys, for the new members, there is a play posted for tomorrow already. With the Lakers and the Nuggets game, I'm gonna dive into it. Probably at a prop. I want to get there on the total, kind of going back and forth. So I'll wait and probably add a play on the total. If I find enough information, y'all know I never force anything. So that's what I'm looking at. CAC React says Lowry over 7.5 rebounds plus assists is something that he's looking at. Coop says points plus rebounds in his opinion. He likes for CAC. He likes for Lowry. I'm sorry. And then Rio Goated says Caleb Martin. What's the best play for him? If I'm playing Caleb Martin, I'm probably looking at his points plus rebounds, like me and Dream kind of talked about earlier. If he plays, he's gonna play the 4 for Kevin Love, so he's gonna be needed to go down there, crash the boards with Bam, crash the boards with Jimmy. So I'll probably look at his points plus rebounds. I like his points just because he's gonna be on the floor for a large part of the game, and he's not the primary option. He's not the secondary option. So a lot of his looks are, one-on-one, wide open threes. He also can attack and get to the paint, put pressure on your defense. So I like Caleb Martin points plus rebounds if I'm playing anything, but nothing that I played officially on Caleb Martin at all. Like I said, game ones are typically fill out games. So that's what I'm gonna do. But I do like the side. I do like the total. My best bets are at the bottom. Miami plus the 8.5 numbers still available widely. Miami team total over 101.5 as well, and over the 211, all 1 unit plays for me. I like these looks a lot today. Hopefully we can go 3-0, come back tomorrow and find some really good looks tomorrow for the Laker game versus the Denver Nuggets as well in game 2 tomorrow. So shout out to the new members, shout out to everybody who tuned in, all the speakers, Steph and Ben, Great White, Cam, Euphoria, JLE, new guy on the block, Derek White over 1.5 threes. I like the look from him. Jimmy Butler, top point scorer. Dream came through with the looks as always. His Blunt Money Bets. Make sure you follow his page. Tap into his YouTube page as well. And hit the like button for me on the way out, man. Best of luck. Everybody enjoy the games tonight. Y'all be safe. We'll be back tomorrow. 5:30 Eastern time as always to do it all over again, man. Best of luck tonight. Enjoy the games, man. I'm out. Chris, on the Lakers tip, have you heard about Russ not coming off the bench? Not liking to come off the bench. Yeah, I did hear that. 1780. He gonna have to do what he gonna have to do, bro. Like, if so the way I see, and I didn't close the space, but the way I see the Lakers, I'll just answer this real quick. The way I see the Lakers winning this series, not with D'Lo. If D'Lo's, I think so a couple different things. I think D'Lo's out there to score the ball, like and to to play make for others. But if he's not doing that, he's a liability. Every single time he was in front of everybody, they just went right around him. I tweeted out last night, dude was like a cone out there, just sitting still, like a chair that you dribble around when you're doing a shooting drill. He can't guard anybody. He can't guard Bruce Brown. He definitely can't guard Jamal Murray. KCP was taking him to the cup. Dude he can't guard anybody. So if he's not giving you something offensively, he's such a liability on the defensive end that I kind of feel like he's not going to be able to play. Maybe if he gets hot, right, like he can have a big impact on the game because he can, knock down some open shots, kind of space the floor. But what he's doing, as far as breaking shots, we could literally have another player in that could, miss shots. And what he's doing on the offensive end, I feel like this is a Bron series. Like Bron is the point guard. Bron assist was 5.5 last game. I think you continue to just take that over because Bron is going to facilitate a lot of the offense. When the Lakers really, came back and started to score, it was because Bron. You see him a lot more assertive than he was in other game ones because they know Jamal Murray can't guard him. The Nuggets don't have anybody that can guard LeBron James outside of Aaron Gordon. So, of course, you're just going to, set the high pick and roll, let Bron get KCP, Jamal Murray, even Michael Porter Jr. He can just go to work. Michael Porter Jr. is too small. I mean, well, too small in physical stature. Bron can just get to space the spot that he wants to, and the other guys are just too short. So, I think Bron's going to continue to exploit those matchups. And Bron can play the point guard because eventually, if Bron is as effective as he was last game, in my estimation, if he continues to be that effective and continues to pick on Jamal Murray that much, Mike Malone will have to start sending the doubles. When he starts sending the doubles, who else would you want the ball in their hands on the Lakers besides LeBron James to send in doubles, right? So maybe that's a part of the strategy for Mike Malone. Maybe he wants LeBron to continue to go one-on-one and kind of wear himself out on the offensive end, and they're cool with giving up those buckets. I'm not 100% sure, but I do think there's something to LeBron. Like, that's a really high percentage shot every time LeBron gets the ball. Besides when he bailed them out with 40 seconds left, Lakers down 3, you got a chance to be down by 1. Bron catches the ball, dribbles the ball up, top of the key. He shoots this three-pointer to bail him out, to bail Jamal Murray out when he should have put his head down and went to the cup. Other than that, like I think you continue to run that offense through Bron. So I don't necessarily think that like we need a lot of other playmakers. Plus, I think Austin Reeves had like 8 assists last night. So if you're not going to be able to guard nobody, go sit on the bench because Austin Reeves already, second year, whatever year Austin Reeves in, he already a way better defender than D'Angelo Russell is. So if D'Lo hitting, he got a chance to stay out there. But if he's not hitting, he got to come out quick. So I don't think that they're not going to play him, but I do think that his rope is going to get a lot shorter if he's not making shots. Because what else are you out there for? You can't do anything else. You're not getting in the passing lane, getting steals. You can't stay in front of anybody. So I think, those are my thoughts. If you don't like to come off the bench, cool. Well, just go back to LA, get a hotel, watch the games. But you got to be able to, and when it comes to the playoffs, you got to be able to accept your role. If the team needs you to play more minutes, you got to be willing to do that. If they need you to play less minutes, you got to be willing to do that. The same way that Darvin Ham pulled out, Jared Vanderbilt when he realized that, they were kind of sagging off, just kind of, chilling, and Steph Curry won't really guard them. And they wanted to make sure Steph was working on the defensive end. You pull him out, you put Schroeder in, series over with. So Darvin Ham has to, and that whole coaching staff, Phil Handy, all of the guys, they have to continue to make the right decision. Like, this ain't about your feelings. We all grown men, at the end of the day, like, cut all that. This is about winning. And if you're not out there, you're not putting us in the best position to win, you got to go. He got to go, especially if Lonnie and Rui are taking advantage of their minutes. Absolutely. Rui minutes are going to go up. Like, I mean, I don't think I'm saying anything new based on how he played, but we won't see a Rui line with what we saw there yesterday. I think Rui line was like 8.5 yesterday. We won't catch another 8.5 line for Rui Hachimura in the playoff. Not in this series. Not in this series. It's all about matchups, like Ramatic said. You can't get mad or get upset. You got to either step your game up or go sit on the pond and cheer your teammates on, because you're not always going to be great at everything. Your skill set specifically might not be needed in that series, but it might be needed in another series. So you just kind of got to, keep your head down, keep grinding, keep working. Lonnie Walker did it every game up until he had the game where he went off in the fourth quarter. What was that, game 4? Game 4, when he went off in the fourth quarter against Steph. Dude was literally sitting on the bench knowing how good he was. D'Lo might need to go talk to Rui, go talk to Lonnie Walker and see how he was able to do it, because I don't think this is the matchup for him. He's undersized, and I needed to. I'm glad you asked that, because I needed to vent about this guy. This guy was horrible last night. He was horrible, and I seen him out there, getting his shots up after the game with his jersey on. Don't get your shots up. Go out there and do some defensive slides. Like, you need to be sliding from corner to corner like they teach you in youth league, because you can't stay in front of anybody. So those are my thoughts on D'Angelo. And I do think that his minutes get reduced, especially if he's not hitting. I don't know if they necessarily pull him out the lineup, but I do think that, his minutes get reduced. Lakers need a little bit more size on the floor. When you only got LeBron and AD, that's why they were getting killed on the rebounds, offensive rebounds, defensive rebounds. At one point in time, the Lakers were getting out-rebounded by 10, offensively and defensively. They had 3 offensive rebounds. Denver had 13. They had 13 defensive rebounds. Denver had 23. So you can't continue to get outworked like that on the defensive rebounds, offensive rebounds. There's a lot of effort. D'Lo won't run it back on defense. So, I say all that to say that, he going to have to accept whatever role, this team gives him. You can't be pouting, bro. You're too old for that. And if you really want that extension with the Lakers, this is a really good time for you to show that you're ready to buy in and do whatever is needed from you specifically in these playoffs. So those are my thoughts, man. A little extra commentary for the YouTube guys, YouTube gang today. Best of luck to you guys tonight, man. I'm tapping out. Hope you guys catch your bets as always. And we'll tap back in tomorrow. I'm out.